fix it. Another bad jobs report today. Why is the economy acting like this? We'll investigate how to break out of that cycle. And, oh, Canada, what are they doing so right that we seem to be doing oh so wrong? All that and more tonight on the Willis Report. Deal or no deal? That's what we've been focused on all week, waiting for, hoping for some resolution of the debt ceiling debate. And we're all praying it happens before we trip a default or a credit downgrade. We're paralyzed, not just in Washington, but all over the country. A report today, major companies are sitting on piles of cash, money they haven't deployed for any productive use. GE, that's the company whose CEO advises the president on jobs, has more than $83 billion at its disposal, just sitting there. Johnson & Johnson with nearly $22.5 billion. Tech companies, too. Apple and Oracle each sitting on $16 billion. Dell with 14. All money that could go to reinvestment, finding new cures, new technologies, putting people to work. But we're struck in a rut with no plan to go forward on jobs or the debt. And today, the final space shuttle mission Atlantis returned to Earth, capping a 30-year, 135-mission lifespan. No plan for how we might pursue the next frontier or even whether we want to. Deal or no deal? It's time we found one for jobs and the economy before one is forced on us that we might not like. But that's my 2 cents. More on the debate on the debt coming at the bottom of the hour. But first, a not-so-happy birthday today. The financial regulation law known as Dodd-Frank is celebrating its first birthday today, and with it comes a new Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that Republicans are fighting tooth and nail. One of those opponents, the ranking member of the Senate Banking Committee, Senator Shelby of Alabama, joins me now. Great to see you, Senator.
Thank you, Gerri.
Well, we listened in on you a little today in your meeting, your committee meeting on the Dodd-Frank bill, and particularly interested in the conversation you had with Barney Frank, who helped author that bill. Here's what the two of you had to say.
As you remember, and I remember that in 2005 and 6 when you had a bill, but as I remember, your major opponent at that point was my Republican chairman, Mr. Oxley, that he had a very different bill, and there was a dispute. Mr. Oxley,
I think he had a weaker bill.
Right. In fact, Mr. Oxley
You must have helped him with it.
All right, so tell me what you made of that hearing, and did anything get done, or was it just an opportunity to go over the bill itself?
Well, I think it was a good opportunity to go over the bill itself. Actually, nothing done yet, but a lot of things need to be done to the Dodd-Frank Act. I pointed that out before. It was rushed to judgment, rushed to passage. Now they're rushing to put forth a lot of regulations. It's going to affect the whole economy in this country. I think we need to go back and look at it, especially the structure of how the top bureaucrat was put together.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Tim Geithner, not too long ago, said that the purpose of this law, get this, it was designed to lay a stronger foundation for innovation, economic growth, and get this, job creation. How's that working out?
Well, as I pointed out this morning, I took Secretary Geithner's own words and used them for a few minutes. It certainly has not spawned economic growth or job creation. It has spawned a huge bureaucracy, and it's going to be interfering with the market. It's going to impede the creation of jobs, and we don't know how much power these people are going to have in the future. What we need are honestly good consumer rules and so forth. We all advocate that. We're all for that. But we don't need to create a czar, a consumer czar that is accountable to nobody. This is horrible. Not accountable to the Congress for funding, not accountable to a board of governance or anything. So that's what we're trying to change. And we have sent the word, the 43 Republicans, say we're not going to confirm anybody to that job unless there's a change in this structure. I hope that the administration's listening to that.
Well, just to synopsize the changes that the GOP wants in the Consumer Bureau, which is sort of the heart of your criticism here, establish a board of directors, subject the Bureau to an appropriations process, because right now they can pretty much get any money they want, establish a safety and soundness check.
Absolutely.
So you really want controls in place You don't want this bureau to just go off willy-nilly and do whatever they want. Right now, still a system of checks and balances.
Absolutely. All we talking about is a common sense balance to this huge, powerful bureaucracy. We should have had it last year. We didn't have the votes, but we're getting toward it now, and we're saying to the administration, we'll work together with you on this. We're not trying to change the mission of the consumer agency. We're trying to change the structure and to make it accountable.
Well, it's been laughable when you look at the entirety of Dodd-Frank, how long it's taken to implement. It's not implemented in any way yet. Some 122 deadlines have been missed. Only 12% of 400 rulemaking requirements have been completed. What does that tell you?
Well, it tells you that Dodd-Frank basically is a horror movie for the American economy, a horror movie for if people are interested in taking risks and creating jobs, because there's so much uncertainty out there because of what this, through regulatory process, this could mean to every business, financial, non-banks, and so forth in this country.
All right. If you look at the cost, General Accountability Office just came out with estimates of the cost of implementing this thing, and it looks like it's going to be about $1 billion. The biggest cost, bar none, that Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that you mentioned, it will cost almost $500,000 to put into place. Tell me, are you opposed to protecting consumers, or do you just not like the structure of this organization?
Gerri, we're all consumers. We want to protect the consumers and also create products for consumers, but we don't want to create a bureaucracy that's unaccountable to the Congress for its funding, unaccountable even in governance to anyone, create a bureaucracy with a powerful czar there that could really impede the growth of our economy in the future.
You know, just to underline your points about the bureaucracy on this thing, if you look at all of Dodd-Frank, if you took all those pages, it would fill 2.5 times an Empire State Building. All the paper from this thing. It's 16 times, it would take 16 Moby Dick novels to contain all of the Dodd-Frank rules and regulations. This thing is huge. It's Leviathan. Do we really have any idea what the ultimate impact of these law changes will be?
Gerri, you say it very well. This is going to be a nightmare. Already is beginning to be a bad dream, but it will be a nightmare for American business.
Well, Senator Shelby, thanks for your time today. We really appreciate it.